You are listening to the We Hired a Sitter for This podcast.
We hired a sitter for this.
We have a roster of like 7 sitters.
I hate authority, but I'm a mom.
I'm an old man. I need orthopedic shoes.
The laughs, the chuckles, the TMI.
Some people might say, why would you have kids? The oceans are rising. The economy's collapsing.
And they're not wrong. I'm Ross.
And I'm Patrick.
And we hired a sitter for this. So here we are back in the home.
Yeah, after a long time apart.
I'm Ross Aaron Margeneau.
My name is Patrick Holbert, and this is We Hired a Sitter for This, a podcast about many things.
Yes.
And this is episode 179.
Wow.
We've recorded 179 of these episodes. And if you were with us last week for 178, we were in different parts of the country.
That's right.
But now we're back.
Reunited. Yeah, you've been on every single episode. I have not.
Is that true? Have you
I've
ever
never done one by myself, no.
Maybe on the Patreon, you have to have your own side quest podcast.
That Patreon, y'all, when it is up and running, you're gonna lose your mind.
You could call it Ross and the Gals. Peg and Ross. Ross is pegging. And it's just stories of you pegging. No interest in pegging?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't feel like that's like what I want to like just hit the ground running with as a topic right now.
On your podcast?
Or like right now in this conversation. Like I feel like, you know, there's like plenty of things that we could like kick off with.
Yeah, instead of just going hard in the butt
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
It's a little much is what she's saying.
Little much. I noticed when I've watched some of these back, I do a lot of like touching my nose, like clearing away. Like I do so much touching.
You're like grooming. You're like a...
But like on camera, like keep your hands down, Ross. What are you doing?
Don't tell me no lies and keep your hands to yourself.
I was just thinking of Franny always yelling at me to stop picking now. I created my own, I don't know, what do you call it?
Well, I remember when the dermatillomania thing was going on.
It was really popping.
And you were seeing a professional and they recommended you get this kind of like Fitbit device that anytime you raised your hand to your head, it would
so
buzz.
Stupid. It never worked.
It's like a mini shock collar.
But it was
so
like...
now you have a human version of that shock collar.
I do. She's always yelling at me to stop picking and touching, which is interesting because I don't feel like... I mean, I definitely don't do it as much as I used to. And I don't feel like I've talked about it that much with her. So it is sort of interesting that she's just like inclined to tell me to stop doing that. Like,
well, I guess we've told her to not pick at stuff of hers.
Yeah, I do think it's probably stems more from that. But yeah, it's just interesting to me that she's like held on to it as a thing that like, mama, don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you have no idea. You right.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
We used to have towels on the mirrors and shit.
Oh, yeah. We blacked out the mirrors.
Honestly, what has saved me is the invention of those face
hats.
stickers.
We call them hats.
We call them hats around here, but they're the pimple patches.
Yeah.
That was the dermatillomania game change for me, because my thing is if I pick something, I just keep going at it until I feel like whatever the thing is I think is in my face is out.
Yeah.
And now I just fucking throw those bad boys on.
I was toying with an idea about your picking on stage once upon a time. And I think it started because I said this to you, like that I'm scared I'm going to walk in there one day and it's just going to be a headless you standing at the mirror, just digging at your neck stump.
Full
blood going everywhere.
Yeah,
body
full
horror.
Body horror, yeah. Full body horror. There's definitely a dermatillomania plot line there.
Yeah, but you're upright and you're functioning.
Yeah.
You just have no head.
Yeah.
You're just digging.
And I'm just like, I've almost got it. And you're like, I don't even know where that voice is coming from. Like, that's kind of good.
I
like
mean,
it.
I was a picker with scabs, and I am.
Well, we all have it. That's the thing. We all have it on some level.
Yeah.
Which, much like alcoholism or any addiction, it's like there's a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And some of us just take it.
Yeah.
Take it to the limit.
If I'm driving alone, I'm picking my nose.
Sure.
Like
you're a human
for the whole ride. Like
you're a human with a heart in your chest.
And I'm trying to reach it through my nasal cavity.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd go to the neck.
I'll go knuckle deep. I get some knuckles in there.
Sure.
And then I'm like, why do I get bloody noses?
Oh, girl. Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
It must be the dry air. I think it's really dry right now.
I do think it is. I do think it is.
It's really dry right now. And also, I've been fist deep.
I've been fisting my nostrils.
Wrist deep fisting my own face. I've been wearing my head like a wristwatch. What time is it?
I don't know. I can't get to it because it's all the way up inside of my skull. I was trying to get a booger.
I've had a headache lately. I don't know why. I've been tickling my frontal lobe with my fingernails. Just trying to get some hardened phlegm off of the edge of it.
Oh, stop. Well, I mean, I don't know if I've ever told this story on the
podcast. Go back to pegging if this is too gross.
I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast, probably at some point, but when I broke my nose as a child, 11 years old, my young
lacrosse ball to the face.
Field hockey. Not lacrosse.
They use the same ball though, right?
No. That would be very fucking dangerous.
I literally just now
I think the lacrosse
forgot there were two sports.
Yeah,
well, I literally
white
was
people.
just like, yeah, field hockey and lacrosse. That's
you lift
the same sport.
Something's on the ground, something's up in the air, but they're both like these weird contraptions you've never seen anywhere else.
You're both annoying the football team because you're on the field.
Well, that's why you.
When does their practice end?
But also, at my school there was no football. Soccer reigned supreme.
Oh yes, this was Connecticut.
But field hockey ball. I'm pretty sure a lacrosse ball is more like a handball.
And it's softer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, field hockey's
solid plastic, which is why when it was thrown directly at my face, my nose was broken.
She snapped.
Yeah. It hit me from my right side, and so the whole center part of my nose, the bone,
was a perfect curve of a ball.
It was.
Like a cartoon.
It really was. This part was shifted over here, and my nose was like in a C shape.
Were there Tweety birds around your head when it happened?
Basically, because I got knocked out onto my back, and I like came to.
And Dave threw it at you?
Yes. And Dave was only 5 at the time.
So you were 11?
So he was like,
this was your 5'11".
It was so stupid. So he was basically Fran's age.
Yeah.
So imagine if Fran caused harm like that to somebody, she would fucking lose her mind.
Yeah.
So Dave is like over me, like bawling his eyes out. He feels so horrible.
Probably thought he killed you.
Yeah.
Like, you probably died.
I mean, I don't, what memory is subjective and not accurate, but I remember coming to him being like so pissed at him. Yeah. Like he's like over me crying, and I'm like, Dave, what the heck, man? Like just so angry. But then I didn't get it fixed until a week later. So I was like walking around with this like busted ass nose for a week. And they had to because I was so young, they put me under to fix it, which I'm like, I can't imagine.
Like a general?
Yeah. Wow. Which I can't imagine that they don't do that for everyone. I'm like, re-breaking somebody's nose while they're awake sounds absolutely insane.
And that's a team effort. Like, there's one doctor holding your head still, and another doctor's getting in there.
Like, why wouldn't everybody be put under for that? Like, that just seems insane to me. But anyways, that's how it was described to me, is that I was being put under because I was so young. And then when I woke up, I had a bandage in my nostrils, and it was like totally blood soaked here, coming out. And, you're having to wait to be checked on forever, which I only really remember from after giving birth. You're always like waiting around you're like, oh, the doctor will be here soon to like check on you. So I'm waiting around. And then they came in to like remove the gauze to see how I was doing. Also, they didn't do a great job because it's still fucked. But why I bring this up is you're making me think of this. This is the only time I've ever had this sensation. When they pulled it out, I had no idea. I had no concept of how fucking far up it was. Because I started gagging because it was so far up into my nasal
Why do they
cavity.
put the gauze all the way up there?
I mean, I think just to stop bleeding.
Yeah. But they didn't do any surgery. Like there
No.
was no...
As far as I know, it was just a re-break and like it was a reset.
Like
basically.
I wonder if the gauze keeps certain, like, what are those, sinus cavities open or something?
Maybe. I don't know. But it was, I just remember they like put one of those long Q-tips right here to then start pulling it out. And as soon as they started, I was like, like,
It's just
I
like,
was like a little warning over here that it was like about to gag me.
I'm
like
just imagining like a magician with the scarves just going.
literally.
It's just like all these scarves. coming out.
But I just remember it fully coming out and being like, Jesus. I was like, that was all in my face.
It's
Like,
just like, we're going to need to open that door, wheel it out.
it was a very defining experience, actually, because I'd been so terrified of needles up to that point. I was in 6th grade. All my friends had their ears pierced. I didn't because I was so scared of the pain.
Yeah.
Every time I got a shot, it was like a whole to-do. Like, I was terrified. And so this was a real defining moment where I, like, little 11-year-old Ross said to herself inside, you got to grow up a little bit here and just deal with this. Like, you can't be having full-on psychotic meltdowns during this whole experience, because I had to get blood drawn. I had to get, what do you call it?
Saline?
No. When you...
A stent?
No. Like, because they had to put me under anesthesia. What do you call it when they put the... That's like a certain thing that you
A
get.
port?
It's not a port,
But it's like a needle that they
stays
then
there,
they
that
switch it out.
lives in your hand.
Yeah.
And like, that was next level.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going from being scared of shots to like, you're telling me you're going to just stick it and then it stays
You're gonna
there?
leave- yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Were you there for just one night though? Or-
Not even night. It was outpatient.
Yeah.
But I knew there was going to be like a lot going on and there was no time for my childish nonsense.
And you're like, I
at
gotta
this
pull
point.
it together. I gotta man up.
Woman up.
You gotta woman up.
And then I got my ears pierced right after.
You're like, bring it on.
Yeah. I was like, I can do anything.
Let's get like some cosmetic surgery while we're here.
I was like,
Mom, I'm 11. I want double D's.
oh my God, disgusting. Although I probably would have asked for them in 8th or 9th grade.
Yeah. Did you ever have like body dysmorphia type things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that around breasts?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Some of the delightful young men I went to school with would do things like this, indicating how flat chested I
to
was.
remind you that you're flat.
Yeah. Be like, Ross is like this. Ross is like this. Okay?
I probably might
yeah.
have had.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I might have
something
had
like that.
a angle on that.
Yeah, you were hanging with a crew that was doing fucking boys will be boys fucking bullshit like that.
That's life, man. It's life.
No, it's toxic masculinity.
I don't
being-
approve of it.
I know that.
I'm not proud
I know
of
that.
it.
I know that. But I'm just saying, like, let's all do better. You
Yeah,
know?
if you're flat chested or you're the one with the biggest boobs, you're just really gonna have to figure out a way to navigate that.
But in the end, having bigger boobs, societally, I think
is worse.
is far more traumatizing.
Yeah.
Because you get sexualized. Like, I would much rather be made fun of for having a flat chest during these developmental years than have the sexual trauma and objectification of being a young girl with breasts. I don't think there's anything wrong with being big breasted. I just think society is a fucking garbage heap that puts all this bullshit on. Like, we're talking 5th graders. I mean, this is how statutory rape happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's the objectification, the sexualization of children, basically, starts if you hit puberty really early.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, my feelings were hurt, but now I rarely ever wear a bra and I can sleep on my stomach. So I'm happy.
And you have great tits.
Thank you very much.
They're really A+.
They fed a human. They kept her alive, which is, the point.
That was a fun experiment with childbirth for you. Like, you all of a sudden had these knockers.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I really hated it. Like, I was not I had really, in my adulthood, I had embraced my small-chested life and really was thriving as a woman that didn't need to wear a bra. I didn't have to think about it. Well, that's the fucked up thing, too. It's like big boobs are kind of maybe less so now, but certainly in the 90s and earlier, are revered as this thing that we all should want. And then they become like a physical, emotional
baggage
toll for some people, not for all people. But yeah, it's just like, it all just comes back to objectifying women and not thinking of us as whole people.
Yeah. And it makes me think of the parts thing that I feel like we've talked about. I don't know if we've talked about it on here, but like the male obsession with parts of women and the objectification of body parts.
I mean, women were obsessed with parts too. I actually wrote a feminist theory paper on this in college about the compartmentalization and commodification of women's body parts.
Oh, yeah.
So
objectively, what is the best part? What'd you land on? Are you a tits or ass gal?
Well, you know what's funny, actually? Botox was just starting to pop off in the early 2000s, where there were advertisements for it in magazines, and I'd done research in magazines, seeing all the different ads that you never saw the whole woman. You only saw parts of the body in the ad.
Yeah.
And then I broke it down by those ads, and Botox was one of them that I did. And I do feel like, because I was so hardcore about it at that time, I always come back to that. I'm like, 20-year-old Ross would have no time for me thinking about my fucking 11 lines here.
Those are called 11 lines?
11s.
Because they come down parallel?
Because they look like number 11. Yeah.
But they look cool on me, right?
Yeah, I mean, men don't.
When I go,
men don't. Like Franny?
I'm upset. Here's my 11.
No, that's a real. Women are obsessed with the 11s. That's
not
what people
having the 11.
Yeah, and that's what that's the first Botox that most people get is in the 11s.
I think it makes me look like I'm thinking real hard.
Yeah, it does.
Or I'm like,
it's probably revered in men.
He's an intellectual. Look at those lines.
But these are the sorts of things that it's you didn't even know that they were really called that, and there's a whole industry built on the fact that women don't want 11s in between their eyebrows.
One thing I have that I'm self-conscious about with my face is I do think my eyes are no longer dead on.
You've always thought that, though.
Yeah, but I think it's getting worse. How do they look?
Dead on.
Really?
Yeah, I am not backing that theory.
I guess it's when I take a selfie on my phone, one eye is looking at the lens and one eye is looking at the screen, and they don't look straight.
Yeah, that's definitely your own, I've looked at my face too many times in my whole life and I'm obsessed. I mean, we all have those things where don't you see that thing that is glaring to me? I hate, this is what I consider to be my good side, because I think my nose looks straight on this side. And then on this side, I don't like being photographed.
Yeah.
Because my nose looks very different to me on this side.
Yeah. I think your instincts are correct. I'm kidding, Benjels. You're the most beautiful.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about it, let's talk about the top 3 body parts of women. Growing up, I was a tit guy. I have to say, because as a young boy,
well, you're programmed to say
and you're just. I think biologically, you're I want to eat. Look at those.
Well, you just got off the teat too,
those
not that long
fed me.
ago.
Those fed me. I'm hungry.
Did your mom breastfeed you?
I don't know. Let's call her.
Your mom does give formula vibes, I have to say.
I have no idea.
That's interesting.
And it's never come up.
Especially since you and your sister were so close too. To go from pregnancy, birth, that's a lot to deal with, to be breastfeeding and
because I would have still been breastfeeding.
Yeah.
I was 13 months old when my sister was born.
And to be breastfeeding the whole time while you're pregnant.
Is that Irish twin territory?
That's what they say.
What is but do they say there's a limit? Like, is it
Like what constitutes
10
rape
months?
or not?
No,
or...
no, I mean 10. No, I mean like 10 months to 15 months.
I have no idea.
Like, at what point is it like? Okay,
I also want to
was-
know Irish twins. Like, is it just because like Ireland didn't believe in birth control and women were just like expected to have sex whenever they wanted to?
Let's look it up.
Whenever their husbands wanted to.
Can we look it up so that we're
They're
not
like,
just...
ha ha ha, Irish twins. Women have no autonomy. Did you have babies close together? It's because you have to do whatever your husband wants, right? Irish twins, la la la.
Irish twins refers to two children born to the same mother within a year, 12 months or less of each other.
Oh, so you guys aren't
A
then.
term that originated in the 1800s to stereotype Irish Catholic families, though it's now considered outdated and potentially offensive.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. In quick succession due to their religious beliefs and lack of access to birth control.
Yeah.
While the term is still used, many consider it outdated.
I'd say. I would say.
So as
you
a
guys
boy,
are
I
Irish
liked
twins.
boobs.
Sure. Yeah.
As a younger adult man, I still liked boobs.
And now?
I really like butts.
Sure.
I like butts a lot.
Well, you
And
married an
now-
ass woman,
Now,
so
as a grown man, the legs have become more interesting to me.
the legs.
Which I was never like I get why legs are attractive. I always
Sure.
liked feet with really nice shoes on. I don't think I'm
well,
a feet
that's
creep.
your own thing, though.
I'm not like a feet creep or anything, but like I always like the look of like a nice shoe on a foot. you
Sure.
know?
Jeez.
But now, yeah, legs. I'm like, wow, that is a stem right there. That,
Yeah.
and then of course we have
That's interesting because I don't like my stems really that
you have
much.
wonderful stems.
Thank you.
They're so strong. They carry this whole family.
What everyone wants to hear.
No, yoga.
So strong.
I'm
Your
talking
legs.
yoga. No,
I know.
and shapely and beautiful and sexy.
Curvy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're fine. I don't.
Your legs carry our whole family.
Yeah.
They
Which is something I've never asked for, but here we are.
They support us.
Yep.
They defend us.
Oh yeah.
They can,
Oh,
they can kick, punch, and kick.
that's right. Oh my God, I'm nearing dangerously close to Sally O'Malley territory.
It is crazy. I'm going to turn 44 in like a week.
So
Or
soon.
2 weeks. What day is it? Why am I 44? What the fuck?
I don't know. You were just a young man of 29 when I met
as
you.
a 44-year-old man, I respect the legs in a new way.
And the whole woman, hopefully.
Well, we're talking parts. We're celebrating the parts right now. Oh, hair too. Actually, hair is new for me in a way
Okay.
that like I see hair on TV or
I don't think it's new for you at all. You're like, that is one of your things that actually drives me a little nuts is that you're always fucking commenting on women's hair. But like in a way that you're just like, oh, they must like this compliment. Or like you're over all the time we've been together. You have a classic move where you're like, you look great. Did you get a haircut? Like you love asking women if they've gotten a haircut
You
or
hate
they.
that.
Well, it's just
Sometimes I notice they got bangs, and I'll say I like your bangs.
yes, yeah, but also you're not always correct.
Yeah,
Like
and they're like, and then that person's just like, "Why are you looking at me like that?"
yes,
Is that what it comes across? as?
Well,
By the way, I've really peeled back on all that stuff. I
Yes.
don't talk to women. I just avoid them.
you're like, no thanks.
I'm a married man and a father. And I know I'm going to say something dumb if I say something at all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Which I don't know. I think I'm a pretty pleasant person overall.
You're like, yeah. Oh, Janet, right? Did you get a haircut? She's like, no, it's Sarah, and I'm bald, actually. But thanks so much.
I'm like, so you bicked it, huh?
Janet, you bicked it. Like, again, my name is Sarah. I don't know why you keep calling me Janet, but okay.
Janet, you do it in the shower or you hired a professional?
Would you go to the barber shop? Oh, actually, I had cancer. My name's Sarah.
And wait, before you go, you're pregnant, right? What do you do?
Yeah. Dropping all of them.
Ugh.
But you're just noticing hair in a different way. on women you're attracted
well, it's like
to.
more attractive. It's like
Appealing.
Sensual.
Oh.
Sensuality.
Wow.
Anyway. I don't have a top 3 body parts of women. I don't do that. No. Bodies are cool and they don't matter to me at all.
Well,
okay?
That's like saying you don't see color, but
yeah.
You just got to step back and see a person for their entirety.
Yes.
You know, all the parts.
And their minds.
That's what my therapist used to do with me a lot when I was still really struggling with the skin picking, because it's like this hyper focusing on certain parts, you know? And
is it an idea that other people must also see what you're seeing?
Yeah. Yeah. Focusing in.
Which is
because
something that was hard. The insanity that was hard for me was like, you would be like, do you see it or whatever? And I'd be like, it seems like normal skin and it's fine. Like it's not something I am drawn to or whatever.
Yeah.
And it felt impossible to convince you of that.
Because it was. Yeah. Well, because also when you're so in it and you are hyper focusing, it's like I would go out on the subway or walk around and I'm hyper focusing on other people like the way I am on myself. So I'm like, certainly they must be doing that too. Like I would see people with what I perceived as good skin, which is ridiculous to use these sorts of qualifiers, right? And I would just be like, oh my God, like they must see my face and think I'm a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's very hard to get out of the loop. I feel so grateful that I'm not hyper focused like that anymore. It still comes up. I think I've likened it to an eating disorder before, where like I don't think it'll ever be gone, but like I'm very aware of it as like a mental illness. I don't know if that's the right way to qualify a body focused repeated behavior.
Well, like as a thing that you can get sucked into if you're not vigilant.
Yes. Like it's not about the skin. Like if I catch myself checking out somebody else's face, I mean, I'll do it to Fran. I'll be like, oh my God, this poreless skin is absolutely incredible. Like, why can't I have this? And like just that dialogue, I recognize it as a dialogue and not as like, oh, my problem is my skin and it needs to be fixed. It's like, no, the problem is the thought pattern.
Yeah.
And I need to like try to take a step back.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I mean, I definitely, you know, I feel like I'm seeing my face age, like I'm noticing it, but I'm trying really hard to not get caught up in that dialogue as well and just be like, yeah, like I'm getting older.
Yeah.
This is part of it and it's okay. Like I'm not supposed to look the way I did 10 to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I really like the I don't know if it's the Buddhists or who does this, but like people who like try to honor their body and like the service that it's done for them, and like this body has taken care of me and I should take care of it and just be grateful for the health that it has and that it's gotten me this far and but sometimes I do look at my own body and I'm like, I wish it wouldn't wither like that.
I mean, yeah, I'm coming to you live with like a fucking icy hot patch on my neck right now because it hurts so badly.
Because like, we podcast like this.
Well, this is my good. This not only is it my good side for my nose, it's also my good side for my neck. Yeah. Because if I have to turn like this for a prolonged period of time, it hurts my neck so badly.
I remember when I was a kid, if I got a crick in my neck, I really thought the world was going to end.
Yeah.
Like to have that pain for days.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, am I living? Is this the same pain that I had at those few times that happened to me as a kid? Like, do I just live with that every day?
I do.
Because it sucks.
It does suck. And it's like, it's a spectrum. Some days it's not so bad, but this morning I was like, oh, this is a 4 Advil icy hot patch kind of morning.
Yeah, I was telling you while I was away, I had like a throbbing quadricep, just like throbbing, just like constant, like it was like a tingle. It was more than a tingle, less than a cramp.
Yeah, that sounds like nerve something.
Yeah, I think it was probably dehydration and lack of sleep because I didn't have one good night's sleep in 11 days.
Also, you're sitting a lot too, right? Like,
yeah,
like knees bent, having some like
circulation
flexion here in your hip. So it could be like literally just from too much sitting and like pinching nerves here. Yeah. You know,
I should have went.
I'm a yoga teacher.
I should have went on a lot more long walks.
Sure.
I was driving the car for 10 days, editing a lot when I wasn't.
It's probably
on
that.
Stage. Yeah.
It's probably just being in that position that your leg was like, no more.
Yeah.
Please, sir.
It's been nice getting on the bicycle with Franny the last 2 days.
Yeah, I watched you bike away like this.
Well, I'm making space for her.
I'm very aware I've ridden the bike, which is why I don't like riding it, because it's like so uncomfortable to pedal. Like you're a fucking clown on a tricycle in a fucking circus. Yeah, just like hips open, fucking.
We got a seal in the back with a beach ball on its beak.
Yeah, that's Peg.
Yeah.
Peg.
Peg is part seal.
She is.
I also felt self-conscious when you saw me hustling away from you with her yesterday morning, dropped off at school. She wanted to be carried, so I picked her up, and then we had to kind of hurry. So I was walking fast in my Hokas and my cuffed jeans.
You thought I was watching you.
And I was like, I probably look like such a dork right now.
Well, I was busy being irritated by the driving school going like this to me.
I was waiting
out
for
the window.
You to scream at them.
You heard the honk right away.
We heard the honk. I was waiting for you to be like, what the fuck? Or I need to get through the fucking light. And I was so curious if I was gonna have to explain that to Franny. But
no,
you didn't shout.
I didn't shout. It was that little hand came out of the window going like this, and I was like, oh hell no.
Yeah, no. I hate that when a pedestrian does that to me and I'm in the car and they like wave me by. And I'm like, you're not the director.
But it's also usually, I feel like, especially in our neighborhood, it's like usually some guy who's like literally like 10 sheets to the wind, as if he's conducting traffic. It's like, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Got it, bud.
Something somewhat dangerous happened this morning, too. I had her on actually right when we biked away from you. We get to the top of Melrose where there's a stop sign, and then Wilson does not have a stop sign. So I stop because I know sometimes cars are coming. And a car stops in the middle of Wilson to let us go. And I'm just like, no, you have the right of way.
I know.
So I start going, and I got through fine, but it just, the rhythm gets all messed up.
Yes, I agree.
Because it's like, you think you're helping me, but you're actually making me vulnerable because now I'm like, well,
and
what if,
stressed.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have the right of way and you're the faster person, just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
Welcome to Patrick and Ross's driving school. I honestly, one of the first video things I ever wanted to do on YouTube is make instructional videos for driving with like toy cars. Like, I really want people to learn how to pull out into the intersection.
Some real spectrum behavior.
If you're going to make a left, get out there.
Some real Bill Green behavior from Big City Greens.
Well, if you're going to make a left, you want to pull out into the intersection.
You know what's actually
you just sound like you're from Wisconsin.
I know. I've been watching Love is Blind, and it takes place in Chicago, and everyone is from fucking Wisconsin or Michigan. They talk crazy.
It's really weird.
Which is where you just were.
Yeah.
They talk real crazy.
Yeah.
That accent is, I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's not cute.
Yeah, and where, like, what is it a vestige of? You know, like, what even is it? Hey, Patrick.
Yeah, there's one guy on Love is Blind that has it bad. Like, I'm trying to think of even like the words that it comes out, but I'm just like, you'd have to be from there.
Is it a new season?
Yeah. Jen and I are watching it together.
You have a lot of stuff on your plate.
I'm so busy.
Reality TV.
I am so busy.
We need to get our fucking HBO login. I want to watch White Lotus.
We gonna have to pay because the Margeneaus are a wrap. They don't know what's going on.
They don't have a password booklet where they're writing this stuff down.
So my mom was here this weekend and she was like, I'm going to try to figure out this password situation. She was really digging her heels in that like what she sent us was right. And I was like, we've tried it every which way, all the combinations. It's not working. So then, you know, she likes to watch her iPad in a real classic boomer kind of way. I came out here one morning. She's watching her fucking iPad while Fran's watching YouTube videos. I was like, this is a hellscape. What's happening here right now? Anyways, so she has her iPad out and I was like, why don't you log out of Max on your iPad and see if you can log back in with the words that you've given me with the words. So we do that. And of course it does not work. Oh, no. So then she tries to get a new password going through email. And it looks like we've had some success. And then we go back with her email and password and it still won't work. And I was just like, that's a wrap.
So she now logged out of HBO
on her iPad, but she said she never uses it on there. So that's why she was willing to do it. Otherwise she would probably not have been willing to do it.
Is there a chance she just doesn't want us taking her?
No, she don't give a fuck.
All right.
She's using our Disney.
Yeah, are they logged in on our thing?
Yeah. So it's looking like we got to pay.
What is it?
Unless there's anybody out there that would like to give us their parents' DirecTV.
Or maybe this is a good time to say that we have a Patreon.
Yes.
Please sign up. $5 a month. Help us pay for HBO Max. If we could just get three people, then you can pay for our HBO Max.
Yeah, that'd be great. But we got three. We got three coming once it launches. Apparently we've got fans that have stuck with us from the beginning.
Yeah. I had a delightful time with Sean Higgins. Shout out Sean Higgins. He loves our podcast.
Wow.
He took me to lunch. He's a real life patron. He's like, let me buy your lunch.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice, right, Peg? She's cooked. So we just watched the Traders reunion this morning. Speaking of reality TV,
we're caught up.
We committed.
No spoilers if you're not caught up, but that was a fun show.
We had a fun watch, didn't we? I thought it was all over for us once Bob the Drag Queen left, but then we were just like, you know what? Let's just stick with it.
Let's see who else we love on here, and we decided we love Gabby.
Obviously.
Everybody, you know, I was loving Gabby like 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
But now everybody's on the Gabby train.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, you were. Well, once I found out that, I mean, I guess we all knew she was gay from the beginning, but then she really started dropping some funny lines.
Yeah.
And looks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a wrap for us now. What are we going to, we need to watch White Lotus, I guess. We have to pay those bills.
I'm watching Paradise on Hulu. I really like a lot of things about it, but it's so melodramatic. Like there was a scene.
Is it like ABC or something? Or is it
Hulu, but
it's a Hulu show?
Yeah, what is it on Real TV? It could be. I mean, it's like got that look about it.
Yeah.
What was it? There was some scene last night that I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cheesy."
Well, while you think of that, my dad was actually telling me something funny that when Fran was with my parents and we weren't there, they were watching their like terrible CBS sitcoms or whatever. And Fran was watching it with them and she's like not used to those type of shows.
Yeah.
So whenever there'd be like a studio audience laugh at something they would say, Fran would then repeat the line that the actor was saying because she was like, oh, that's funny.
That's so cute. That's cute.
So my dad said she was like saying all these like, I'm saying terrible one-liners from these sitcoms because she was like, oh, this evokes laughter.
I wonder what Big Bang Theory?
Probably
they
some
love
shit.
The Big Bang.
I mean, if you're a boomer, it is like fucking
fentanyl.
Heroin.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like, deliver me the laughs.
Yes, just straight in. They're like, oh man, they don't write it like this, do they?
Deliver me Americana.
There's one, the name of it I can never get. It's like
King of Queens.
No. No, it's like Me and Abishola or something.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a big fat white guy and he like fell in love with a African woman.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, and let the hijinks ensue.
Yeah, I remember. They had it on once when we were there.
And he was on like Mike and Molly or something, which was a Melissa McCarthy vehicle, which was so weird. I'm like, wait, you're still doing like a sitcom? I thought you were just like a movie star.
Yeah,
CBS, there's things going on CBS that our generation and younger, we don't even know what's happening.
Well, some of those people, I wonder if that person, that it could be like a studio contract, like an old-timey contract where it's like, we'll hire you to do this movie, but you also have to do this sitcom.
Yeah.
Which...
Listeners, if you know anything about...
Yeah, who's got the scoop? Don't you have a former babysitter who does casting for CBS? Or that was ABC?
No, it was CBS. She, like, I'm talking shit, but yeah, she was like head of casting for all of those shows for years.
I wonder if she would have the scoop.
Is
she still in the biz?
I don't know what she does now. I think she got laid off.
I wonder if we
some
could
years
have
ago.
her on sometime. Pick her brain about entertainment.
I did reach out to her not that long ago to make sure she was okay after the fires. So we had some back and forth.
She's okay?
Yeah, she lives, I think, in downtown LA. In an apartment. She said that they were all right, but they did have to like leave because of the smoke.
Yeah.
Oh, what a hellscape, huh?
Yeah,
everything sucks.
Everything's burning. Everybody's getting deported.
Literally and figuratively, everything is burning. It's a real...
Long Island was burning the other day.
Was it?
Yeah. There were wildfires out in the Hamptons.
There's
a burn ban in New York State now. Check with your county officials to see if that applies to you.
I mean, I of course don't want anyone to burn, but I'm also like, well, the Hamptons, like, go fuck yourselves.
Well, the first thought I had is like, is this political arson?
Oh,
like
don't start
with my conspiracy theories.
Don't start with your white man conspiracy theories.
I would like one person's home to burn down in the Hamptons, and that's Brian Sullivan, who owes me $4,500.
Put him on blast.
This man owes me $4,500 from 2017.
We could use that right now, too.
Yeah, we could really use it.
$4,500.
Yeah.
I wish you hadn't reminded me of that.
Fucking garbage person. What a garbage person. I'll never forget the emails where he'd be like, I'd be like, hey, I'm really kind of waiting on last month's pay. And he'd be like, yeah, you know, like I got my mortgage. I don't think I'm going to be able to pay my mortgage this month.
Who gives a fuck?
Like, I don't care. I don't care what your situation is.
The overshare.
Yeah.
I mean, we've both gotten that. I mean, in freelance life, this is like a thing where people tend to overshare out of desperation because they don't or they can't pay you.
Yeah.
And it's like such a tell. It's like an immediate tell when somebody starts oversharing shit about their personal life.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I already did this work for you. Pay me my fucking money.
Yeah. I hate when I want to overshare when I'm asking for the money. Like, I've sent several emails or texts in the last few months where like I start to write like, we got hit really hard with health insurance and our boiler. Like I start to write that and then I'm like, just delete it. Just leave it at, hey, I'm checking in. Is it cool
about the work I did?
Yeah.
Like I did the work.
Yeah. You don't need
equals.
You don't need explanation of why I need money.
Yeah, like we all. But what always kills me about where we receive the funds from, I won't call out something recent, but I will share the story that I have a client that I've worked for years on and off that pays well and consistently. It's definitely an evil empire. I don't love working for them, but it has supported our family for a number of years at this point. And all of a sudden, like from one week to the next, it was like, oh, actually, you're going to invoice these people instead. So just send your invoice there. And I was like, okay. So I do that. And then, because I'm getting paid through like a third party intermediary all these years, now I'm invoicing the client directly. And they want me to fucking set up a portal on a thing and a that and da. And then all of a sudden also are like, and by the way, it's net 60. Now, to my friends out there who have regular jobs.
Yeah,
Can you imagine waiting 2 months to get paid. And let me tell you, the bitch who wrote me the email, I guarantee she getting paid every week or every other week.
She's salary.
And she would lose her effing mind if she had to wait 60 days to get paid.
And those people know they can schedule their life around like, I get a direct deposit on.
Yes.
Like I have one client that pays at the right, like I know when the direct deposit's going to come and it's nice. But that is not our whole life.
But also
and that's like a couple $100 like for that one client.
And I think that there is this idea of like, well, if you're going to make the choice to be freelance, you don't deserve any consistency whatsoever. This is the choice you've made. These are the consequences. If you're not going to like work the rat race like the rest of us, like this is a byproduct. So deal with it, which is fucking bullshit.
And also sometimes the day rates for a freelancer look substantial or impressive or whatever, but it's like, but I'm hustling in all these other ways to make that kind of money.
Yes.
And like I'm often doing jobs for not a lot of money to then try to get good paying day rates.
Correct.
So long story short, I need the money.
I mean, it's a choice, of course, but to act as if like we deserve to wait that long because we don't want to like be corporate is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So anyways, and this client also, we had been kind of told through the grapevine that they were going to start phasing out the stylists and start using AI.
Yeah, AI is coming for all your jobs.
I mean, that discussion has been happening for a while, but it was basically like, work's about to slow down way slow because they're going to start implementing AI. And who do you think that AI, what work do you think they're looking at as reference? Do you think it might be all the work that me and my colleagues have been doing for the past few years?
I think it is.
The answer is yes.
I think AI is studying your archives.
Correct. So because also now that I'm a yoga teacher, doula, I do come out a bit guns a-blazing, like I've got nothing to lose, which isn't entirely true, but but I'm like, I'll fall on the sword. Fuck these motherfuckers. So, and also it is illegal technically in New York State to pay freelancers. What am I trying to say? You need to be paid in 30 days or less, according to the law. The Freelancers Work Isn't Free Act, okay? So look it up. Remind your clients. So I sent back an email and I said, I really would appreciate it if I was paid in the 30 days like I typically am, because first of all, the Freelancers Work Isn't Free Act is law of the land here in New York State. And
law of the land.
Law of the land.
Spoken like a presidential candidate.
Law of the land. And we've been told that AI is going to take our jobs. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be using the work that me and my colleagues have done over these past few years as reference. So you're also using my work and you're taking 2 months to pay me. It's just a hard pill to swallow. And guess what, everyone? They decided to pay us in 30 days.
Wow.
Little victories.
Huge victory for somebody who, and it's brave that you were as straightforward, because I am always of the mind of like, well, I don't want to be the squeaky wheel or the rusty nail or whatever the
Sure. And I don't know if I would be down for it if I didn't have an out.
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to think I would be. I am a bit of a Norma Ray, which is the movie about unions that Sally Field is in, and she's holding a sign that says unionize.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen it, but I constantly reference Norma Ray. And it is very frustrating to me how few freelancers are willing to step up and like come together, because we do have so much more power in numbers.
Right. It just feels scary though.
I know, but I'm just like, especially right now, like the corporations are out to get us. They don't give a fuck. And even if you stay quiet, eventually especially when you know if AI is going to come for your fucking job, like, tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I don't know.
Tell them to go fuck themselves, but just the tip.
Yeah. I'm a Libra. I like to fight for justice. I can't help it. It's so frustrating to me when people are just like, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like the most annoying saying to me on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is because you're saying that.
We just lay down and take it.
I actually, my brother listens to this, he'll probably get mad at me. I was talking to him last night and I was just like, really, we all should just like stop what we're doing. Stop paying taxes. Stop working for these corporations.
Just a full general
Like, we need a general strike. And he just immediately was like, yeah, but that's not going to happen. And I was like, well, not with that fucking attitude. It's not, my man.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the general consensus, which is maybe why no. I was like, I'm ready for French Revolution off with their heads. Like, what are we doing? I'm probably going to get arrested.
Yeah, and I just got an email from my accountants that corporate tax stuff is due. And I'm like, yeah, give me a couple days. I'll pull it all together.
Can you delay it like we do personal?
You can, but I don't want to. I feel like we just got to keep taking care of stuff, right? Should I just extend?
I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to extend because of what's going on.
Yeah.
And like, it feels like at least one step in fuck you people.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to deal with it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not the Debtors Anonymous way, but
I just think
I kind of want to like wait and see.
You want to do that with our personal also? Did we do that last year? We extended
did,
to like October.
Yeah, which is why like it also feels like it's just sneaking up.
It's just like this is the schedule we're on now.
Yes and no, but
didn't we end last episode getting into very personal information? And we're like, all right, let's talk off the podcast about this.
Guys, we're doing fine. Okay, please don't worry about it. Thank you. It's gonna be fine. Patrick has a movie coming out. Okay.
Should we record another podcast, Patreon right now, or how are you feeling?
I gotta do shit.
All right.
And we have some.
Oh
my God.
Somebody's at the door.
Somebody's at the door.
I wonder who it is. Who is it?
I don't fucking know.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We gotta get the door.
I'm terrified.